The MLB is horrified of this after Red Sox Nation just got confirmation that the young southpaw pitcher down in AAA in Payton Tolle may be called up for a playoff run in Boston in the coming weeks. I'm here to break down all of the reports and all the quotes that we have from Alex Spear, as well as what to expect from Payton Tolle, as well as members of the starting rotation already in Boston, specifically Walker Buehler, in the coming weeks. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. First, do remember, if you're a part of the percentage watching this video, not currently subscribed, to scroll down and click the subscribe button. Stay up to date with everything Red Sox. Help us hit our new goal of 5,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. We do appreciate all the love and support. So again, thank you. But now let's get to it and break down the piece the Sox need going into October. This is someone we have discussed on this channel at absolute, complete, and total nauseum because I can't get enough of him. I want to see him in a Red Sox jersey. I want to see him pitching in meaningful games. I understand he's only 22 years of age, but based off what we have seen, not only on the mound, but the overall just size of this human being. Like, he's going to be successful. He's going to be a good major league pitcher. It just comes down to when. And it seems like the Red Sox organization as a whole is very, very impressed with this young man. And because of that, we could see him this season pitching for the Boston Red Sox. And again, just in the coming weeks. So we got an article written by Alex Spears on the Boston Globe titled, "Pitching Prospect Payton Tolle is impressing the Red Sox so much that a late season call-up is possible." Now, there are a lot of quotes in this article, not only from Payton Tolle, but others involved in the Red Sox organization, simply praising this young man and how unbelievably good he has been up to this point. Yes, he is now in AAA, but he has worked through single, double, and got himself to AAA. Now, in AA, he only pitched in 7 games, where he posted less than a 2 ERA in those 7 games and was simply dominant. Now in AAA, he's making his 3rd career start today, which will be very, very exciting to see. He plays today against Jacksonville at 6:45. It will be very, very interesting to see how he goes out there and performs following his 2nd performance down in AAA, which was really a bounce back after his first one. As we all know, there are a bit of blemishes because it was simply the first inning that got out of control. He gave up a few hits due to errors, resulted in a grand slam and a solo shot. He gave up 5 runs in that first inning, but following that, the next 4 of that first start in AAA, he was lights out. It was basically a mold of what we saw in the entirety of his 2nd start. As he went 5 innings, he only gave up 3 hits, created a lot of whiffs on a fastball that is not 100+ miles per hour. He's sitting in that 96 to 98 mile per hour range, and despite that, he is still creating a lot of swing and miss. He's blowing it right by hitters, and he's not scared to attack these guys at the plate. He throws a lot of strikes, and it works out very, very well. So now to the article written by Alex Spear. And again, there are a lot of quotes, and we're going to cite now. Those pitchers are outliers. The Sox believe Tolle might be one as well. Quote, "This is hard for me to say, but the guy, he's a John Lester type of guy. Can't miss, dominant, big leaguer," said Epperson, who has worked in the Red Sox system since 2002. Quote, "He's a rat. He just wants information. He wants to be around this. And I think those intangibles there, and with the talent, this guy's going to be really, really special." So someone that works in the Red Sox system, praising Payton Tolle as much as he possibly can, and it doesn't end there, as it continues with, "His improvements have forced the Sox to reconsider conventional development schedules." Quote, "His abilities to learn and pick up things is just at a rate that I really haven't seen," said Red Sox director of pitching Justin Willard. Quote, "At some point, the skill is too good to close the book on a call-up. What he has shown this year throughout his minor league progression is that there is the upside of him potentially helping the big league team win baseball games, especially later in the season, as we progress towards hopefully winning a World Series." So, Justin Willard, the director of pitching for this Red Sox organization, praising Payton Tolle once again, saying that this guy is just undeniable. The intangibles he has, this not only mentally, physically, but also on the mound and what he can do with a baseball. How can you deny this kid? At some point, if there is a spot open in the starting rotation because Walker Buehler's inabilities to remain consistent for this Red Sox team, at least in a starting position, why would you not take the chance? You have an ample amount of talent down in AAA, Payton Tolle being at the forefront of it. Yes, there's other legit names like Kyle Harrison, who, as we all have already addressed on this channel a bunch, he's already pitched on the major league level. Yes, Yes, he's 23 years of age. He's pitched in the major leagues with San Francisco before he then arrived in Boston. Also, David Sandlin, more of a relief guy. He's not really a starter. He could be used as a starter. We've seen it down in the minor leagues. But again, Tolle, yes, he's been used in relief, but he's been dominantly used as a starter down in Double and AAA, and it has shown great results that it seems like the Red Sox aren't going to go away from. Now we got ideas of how Tolle's actually dealing with this quick progression, not only through the minor leagues, but possibly to the majors, where he went on to say, quote, I think it was first a little bit of a shock, like, whoa, this is moving quick. He acknowledged. And again, this is the idea of after he was then quickly promoted to AAA, where he's now made 2 starts, going to make his 3rd today on April 22nd. And I really can't wait to see how this goes. I want to see him continue to go out there and be extremely dominant, be extremely aggressive on the mound, and be able to go out there and really just continue to prove his worth, continue to prove his value, and have the Red Sox be put in a position where they absolutely have to call him up and give him a major league spot. Now, I'm not going to read this entire quote or all of these quotes word for word, but I will just go ahead and break it down because Tolle's asked about what this entire thing has really, how this has gone for him, the progression, the quick progression at that. And like we heard earlier in that quote from Epperson, I should say, he is so courageous to keep learning. He wants to keep learning. He's always into the information. It even references the scene from The Simpsons where Homer is chasing his donut. And it's literally, he references a carrot and then goes on to double back and say he doesn't like the smell of carrots and he doesn't know why he would use that as a comparison. But he then quickly uses the analogy of the Homer Simpson chasing the donut. And it makes sense. He just wants to continue learning. If you hold it out in front of him, he's going to continue to chase it until he actually obtains it. And what other mentality do you really want from your 22-year-old young southpaw pitcher who has not yet made it to the bigs, who is working towards that goal? You hang it out in front of me, I'm going to continue to chase it. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do everything in my power to not only improve my abilities, but improve my chances to get that call up. And watch me. I'm just going to continue to do it. It doesn't matter how long I have to run. It doesn't matter what obstacles you put in front of me. I'm going to continue to chase this dream. And I know I'm right on the doorstep, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to go out there and fight like I absolutely have to get my hands on the prize. And in this case, get called up to the big leagues. Now, outside of that quote and that analogy from Payton Tolle, we actually got a major quote from Craig Breslow. And this is obviously going to carry because this is a substantial quote. And he gives us a good idea that we could actually see Tolle in the coming weeks. Quote, when there's a guy with these unique traits and what we think should be the weapons that we will translate into the big leagues, then you will start to look at the variables that are introduced by changing the environment, the crowd, the stadium, said Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow. Quote, by all accounts, he's a kid that kind of elevates his game. We don't anticipate that the stage is too big for him, so if we think he's ready, we wouldn't hesitate to give it a shot. And that is the end of the quote from Chief Baseball Officer Craig Breslow, someone that has to make the call. Yes, Alex Cora could be in on it. The guys down in AAA could be promoting it and behind Payton Tolle as much as they possibly can. But if Craig Breslow and the guys in that front office do not decide to pull the trigger and actually bring up Payton Tolle, it's not going to happen. So to hear this quote from Craig Breslow is substantial, and it looks like there is a legitimate chance that if Payton Tolle continues to go out there and flat out dominate down in AAA, we could see him on the major league level in just the coming weeks. And I mean that like by the time Buehler's next start arrives. And yes, he pitched 3 days ago now. I'm not saying he'll pitch today. Payton Tolle, that is, pitch today down in AAA, get called up and pitch again in 3 more days. I'm not saying that by any means. But let Walker Buehler go back out there in his next start in the coming, 3 to 4 days and not have his greatest performance, only get through maybe 4 and 2/3 innings again, and Payton Tolle goes out there today and absolutely shoves. I would not really be surprised if Tolle gets the call up. And again, we've mentioned it ad nauseum on this channel, the amount of pitching that you need in October to really suffice and get through it and not have a stressful situation where you're like, we're running out of pitching. Who do we go to in this high leverage situation? if you go out there and acquire more guys, and yes, you still have Walker Buehler down in the bullpen, that would only improve things. Obviously, the IL for the Red Sox in just the starting pitching department is a bit heavy. Obviously, Cutter Crawford, Hunter Dobbins, Tanner Houck, Patrick Sandoval, and Josh Wignowski, all of these guys are down on the IL, and they're reliable arms the Red Sox could go to in these moments. But again, they're not available, and because of that, they are relying on players like Walker Buehler to be overly consistent and overly dominant to a level that we haven't seen him to up to this point. Could we result to see him in a bullpen situation, high leverage or low leverage? Absolutely, because we saw him do it last year in the Fall Classic on the biggest stage for the best team in baseball. We could absolutely resort to seeing something like that, and I don't think it would be an issue. If you could have Crochet, May, Crochet, May, Giolito, Bello, and then you would have Payton Tolle. You would have two southpaw guys in that starting rotation who are very, very young with a whole lot of upside, and it would end up working out, I think, in my opinion, very, very well. Let me know down below what your overall thoughts and opinions are on this updated news that we have seen about Payton Tolle and whether or not you would like to see him on the major league level in the coming weeks, filling in for someone like Walker Buehler. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.